What's going on, guys? Just here back to my channel, and tonight was a good show, pay-per-view of AEW Forbidden Door 2003. It was good, a lot intense matches and stuff, and it was. Let me see, I gotta say, it's fucking badass. It was fucking badass. All the matches were fucking badass, man. Um, yeah, so it started off slow because the pre-show and stuff, 0 hour, how you want to call it. Yeah, give me a second. Let me get my drink. Okay. Got some Mountain Dew in here and stuff. So, yeah, it was good tonight, man. It was fucking good. It was badass. Let me tell you, it was better than WWE shows. But, man, yeah, so anyways, it was a lot of matches. I mean, a lot of matches, but not too much. But, I think it was like 9 or something matches. But, yeah, I'll let you know when we're getting close to the pay-per-view. So, we're gonna go ahead and do the pre-show first. I don't know why I thought it was 4 matches on the pre-show, but on here it says 2, which is weird. But yeah. Anyways, all right, just get to it then. Mogul Embassy versus Chaos. Athena versus Billy Starks. Oh, okay, I see what they did here. Never mind. Okay. So, sorry, I'm trying to read the thing real quick. Oh, okay, never mind. So here we go. All right, the first match: Chaos versus Mongol Embassy. This is the first pre-show. Strickland, Khan, Leona, and Cage took on Beretta, Taylor Romero, and Desperado in a 8-man tag match to get the action going. Most 6 and 8-man tag matches in AEW follow a similar pattern. Both sides trade control several times, so all 8 competitors can be on offense and defense. These bouts are always fun, but they rarely feel distinct from another. For one, everyone did a good job, and the crowd hopped to the show, which is all I expected. And then Mongol scored the win when blah blah blah. Winners, Mongol Embassy. All right, the second match. This is for the women's Owen Hart Cup tournament. Continue with Starks versus Athena in the second match. On the pre-show, the recent high school graduate was able to get the upper hand and even scored the first near fall, but the ROH Women's Champion eventually turned it around. They had a couple of missteps, but most of this match was hard hitting, allowed both women to shine. The final few minutes woke the crowd up. They started hitting bigger spots. Athena winning was predictable, but also the right call. So Athena won the women's um, tournament thing, but they're still going to continue it. So, notable moments, observations. Having the English and Japanese ring announcers for this show is a great touch. The ROH 6-man titles might need to be retired at some point. Management has barely done anything with them since the show relaunched. Starks has some good kicks. She and Athena were hitting each other with every strike. There was an awkward moment when Athena fell even though Starks didn't land a kick, but Athena hurt by grabbing her and hit his sister. Okay, blah blah. All right, the third. The third match. We're gonna start with Stu Grayson versus El Fantasmo. Hope I saw that right. The third match on the pre-show saw Grayson accompanied by Vincent and Dutch to take on El Fantasmo. Grayson immediately took control by grounding ELP for some punches, but the high flyer didn't stay down for long. This wasn't a squash, but it was definitely designed to make Grayson look good. He controlled the pace for most of the plays, allowing Phantasmo to have some standout moments. Surprisingly, ELP was able to get a clean win. So El Phantasmo won the match. The fourth and final match for the pre-show, United Empire versus Los Ingo Barabas, the Japon, Japon, um, Kyle Fletcher, TJP, and Jeff Cobb represent United Empires and LIJ's Bushi, Jerome. I'm not gonna say the name because they're hard to say, but so here you go. In the final pre-show match, this was mayhem from the moment the bell rang. All six men began fighting, and it took a few minutes before it was down to TJP and Bushi as the legal man. Biff goes in line, hitting his finisher on TJP for the win. So yeah, the loss and the Japan won. Alright, notable moments. ELP's jacket was awesome. It was reminiscent of Jericho's old WWE jacket that lit up. Phantasmo's haircut was very similar to Logan Paul's hair. Take that however you want. The suicide dive from Phantasmo was fantastic, as it was the 450 from Grayson. Cobb's power is insane. He was able to power up to Bushi with almost no leverage for a suplex. So yeah, that was the fourth and final match. Man, give me a drink real quick. Alright, here goes the first match on the main card. Alright, MJF versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. I could say that right. I don't know why I can't say the other names right. I suck at it. MJF went to Tony Khan, requested that his match against Tanahashi go on first so he could get out of Toronto as fast as possible. What an asshole. Shit. So the AEW World Title bout kicked off the main show. MJF taunted Tana by mocking his walk before they locked up. Tana took him down and played some air guitar to show he wasn't intimidated. The champ tried to walk out of the match, but Tana got a coward chant going to entice him back into the ring. The Long Island native used some cheap tactics to get the advantage. He kept the pace low and interacted with the crowd a lot to generate heat. They did a lot of storytelling in this battle instead of making this a work rate match. They had some good technical precision, but this match was never going to live up to some of the bouts on the card, so they were smart to try something different. Tana was able to hit his signature dragon screw leg whip before locking in a cloverleaf. MJF got to the bottom row to force a rope break. The champ was able to use the Dynamite Diamond Ring to hit a cheap shot and get the pin. MJF won. Notable moments. This is Tanahashi's second shot at the AEW title after he faced Jon Moxley at last year's show. MJF is great, projecting his voice so the whole crowd can hear him in the ring. Using the top rope for leverage during an abominable stretch is such a classic heel move. MJF did a lot of great selling this match. He looked convincing when he sold an injured knee after hitting a shoulder breaker. Alright, the second match. CM Punk versus Satoshi Kojima. Alright. Yeah, and everybody hated CM Punk in this match. We got a match in the men's men's Owen Hart Cup tournament when CM Punk battled Kojima. And the second match on the main card, they started with some simple chain wrestling. A small CM Punk chant was immediately drowned out by boos as he took control. They ended up finding a ringside where Kojima sent Punk over the barricade into the timekeeper's area with a stiff chop. Whenever Punk tried to trade strikes, Kojima would make him regret it. This match ended up being longer than expected, but not in a bad way. Both men were clearly having fun while beating the life out of each other. It always makes it more fun for the crowd. After Bowman failed to get pinned with an elbow drop from the top rope, Punk applied at the Anaconda Vice. Kojima escaped and managed to counter the GTS twice before the second City Savior finally hit it for the win. So yeah, CM Punk won the match. Punk was getting way more boos than cheers during his entrance. He didn't seem bothered by it at all. Kojima's chop to send Punk over the barricade looked great. Punk sold it perfectly. Punk yelling Lariat and Kojima as he hit several corner clothesline was hilarious. Kojima's elbow dropped looked like it hit Punk below the belt. So Punk won the match. Alright, the third match. Orange Cassidy versus Daniel Garcia versus Sori Shibata versus Zack Sabre Jr. Alright. The AEW International Championship was on the line in a fatal four-way match when Orange Cassidy put the title on the line against Garcia, Shibata, and ZSJ. All four men sized each other up and had a standoff in the middle of the ring. OC hit all three men with the laziest kicks ever below. All three opponents caught his leg and tossed it back and forth like they were playing catch. Shibata and Sabre, kept showing Garcia away so they could trade shots. When Garcia started dancing at them, they both took him down at the same time whenever they had a chance. Shibata and Sabre tried to go after each other. Garcia tried and failed to win the match by hitting Shibata with the title. At one point, we got every combination of opponents working with each other throughout the match, so we saw some dynamics at play with different pairings. Crowd was loving every second of it. It was easy to see why everyone loved their strengths and working together to make this the best match of the night up to this point. Cassidy was able to steal the win by shoving Shibata out of the ring after he hit Garcia with his finisher, and then making the cover for the win. The three champions all argued by whose title was the most important after the match was over. Orange Cassidy won. So yeah. Notable moments and observations. Excalibur, Tony Schiavone, a dirtbag on commentary, was a little out of left field. Garcia has gotten so much funnier since joining the JAS. He does so many little things. I was here Larry like flexing during his match submission. Shibata transitions, he moves from one to the next are so smooth. The way Sabre was pushing Cassidy hand was brutal. Alright, Sonata versus Jack Perry. Oh man, the end of this match was shocking. The IWGP Heavyweight Championship was on the line when Sonata defended his title against Jungle Boy. He took Jungle Boy Hook was at ringside to support his tag partner. Perry was able to lock in the snare trap early in the match, but Sonata immediately made it to the ropes because he was still fresh, uninjured. The longer the match went, the more physical it became. They both ended up on the mat after particularly tough exchange, and they started throwing chops before they both stood up. Jungle Boy used Sonata's own signature hold against him, but he was unable to get the win. This led both men trying to outdo each other with the various match. The match ended with Sonata hit a moonsault for the pin. It seemed like the crowd was a little surprised that this was the finish, and it almost seemed like it might not have been the planned ending. This was a good performance, but the ending was a bit strange. When they got to the stage, Perry turned on Hook and laid him out with a clothesline. The crowd booed and chanted as Hook was lying with his head in his hands. Sonata won the match. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Notable moments and observations. This was the second match in a row where you could say Perry had had a slight size advantage, which is rare for him. Sonata may have been a bit stronger, though. Jungle Boy hit a nice suicide dive and landed on his feet to pose for the crowd. It was great. The announcers tell the rulers of the match and why they were different. Since the IWGP title was on the line, both men had some deep red marks on their chests from the chopping each other so hard. Okay, I thought Hook was gonna turns back on Jungle Boy, and not Jungle Boy turns back on Hook, but whatever. We still got the Hook and turn heel thing. I mean, Jungle Boy turn heel. Alright, so Team Elite versus Team BCC. Alright, Kingston and Ishii, I don't know, teamed up with Paige and the Young Bucks to take on the Blackpool Combat Club. Takeshita and Yumino in a huge tag team, in a huge man. I'm sorry, I can't talk. In a huge 10-man tag match, as expected, Don Callis was by Takeshita's side. Casanoli and Kisa were able to start, but when Umigo tagged in instead of Kingston, tagged right out to Heyman because he only cared about fighting the Switch Superman. For the first several minutes, this was mostly a respectable match. We saw some double team moves, but it was one of the exchanges with the Frink tags. When Kingston and Moxie end up in the ring together, everything came to a standstill, but Mox took the shot and yelled at Eddie to hit him back after they trade blows for a bit. All 10 men got into the ring and started brawling for a couple minutes. There was a lot of chaos around the ring. They eventually got back to the corners and the BCC started taking the Mad King apart. This match had so much going. They would blah blah blah. So which is not easy, blah blah. After a great final sequence, she scored the win for this team by pinning Yuta with the brain buster. Kingston ended up arguing late but walked to back without incident. So yeah, Team Elite won the match. Hold on, let me say this real quick. Taz left commentary booth between matches to take care of Hook, so Shivani joined the table to replace him. The way Max was avoiding looking at Kingston before the match was a nice touch. Takeshita and Ishii duking it out was a great sequence. They were not holding back much at all. Paige's Musan always looks phenomenal. Hangman countering Takeshita. Just the dividing clothesline with the spinning forearm. Excuse me. Takeshita was selling everything in this match like he was being killed over and over again. It was great. So yeah, the Elite won. What confused me the most was Eddie Kingston pushed John Moxley away for the Young Bucks because the Young Bucks was about to kick him, and Eddie Kingston blocked him. And then later on, after the match when the match was over, and Eddie was like pissed off and shit, and then I was like, you saved John Moxley, but you got mad at the Young Bucks for kicking you. But I was like, what the fuck just happened, you know? But yeah, it was confusing though. He was confusing as shit. So I don't know what to say. Alright, Tony Storm versus Willow Nightingale versus Willow Nightingale for the AEW Women's Championship. Alright. Storm put the AEW Women's Championship on the line. Sorry guys. Storm put the AEW Women's World Championship on the line. Willow on Sunday night put the champion didn't come alone. Ruby Soho and Saraya were right there at ringside. Storm rolled out of the ring after their first exchange to find her footing after a little error, but once they reset and engaged, they started to work. The rest of the Outcasts attacked Nightingale while the ref was distracted by giving Storm a clear advantages from early in the match. The NJPW World Strong Women's Champion eventually made a comeback and it hit a huge Death Valley driver on the apron. She hit a second one in the ring, but only got a 2 count. The ref kicked Ruby and Saraya from ringside after they tried to slip the green spray to Storm. Match, blah blah. Yeah, in the end, Michael Clean both win small. The champion ended up bringing regular Terror title by raking Willow's eyes and hitting Storm for the pin and stuff. Tony Storm won the match. After their first lockout, they both fell over when they lost balance. They covered up well, but it was pretty obvious that was not how it was supposed to happen. Storm almost missed completely with their running hip strike. Willow almost dropped Storm right on her head with the Death Valley driver. Moonsault from Willow looked great. The pounce is Willow's best move. So yeah, Tony Storm won the match. Alright, oh man, this was a good match. This was a good fucking match. It was long too. Alright, so here we go. Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay. So yeah, IWGP US Heavyweight Championship. This was a good match. Ospreay was looking to regain the IWGP United States Championship. He lost at Wrestle Kingdom 17 when he stepped back into the ring with Omega for only their second singles match. Both men got great reactions during their entrances, but Omega was clearly the fan favorite. Not only was he the babyface champion, but he was in his home country. The first match they had on Jerry Ford stole the show, and you could tell they were looking to do the same thing here. Just from their posture and facial expressions, they were as serious as it gets. They seemed like they were pacing themselves at first, but after a bit moment, both men started trying to hit some of their biggest moves on each other. Callis tried to grab Omega's leg, and the ref booted him from ringside. That allowed everyone to focus solely on the match and the ring. From that point forward, anyone who is familiar with the abilities of Omega and Ospreay only who knows this was a great match. It's tough to say if they outdid their previous performance because they felt like totally different matches. The first one was all about the tension of their pay-per-view singles match, but whereas this was about giving them about them trying to hurt each other. The cleaner was busted open when Ospreay slammed his head into the announce table. Several times, Omega did the same thing to him on the steel steps. A few minutes later, they were both bloody mess. By the time they got back into the ring, they each scored several near falls. They stated showing signs of their wear and tear they had suffered. Each time they went down, it took a little longer to get their feet to their feet again. Callis made another appearance and hid blank and hid. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm so tired. And hid behind his security guards in the aisle as Omega drilled Ospreay with a stiff knee. Callis passed Ospreay his screwdriver while he was keeping the ref busy. He used it to escape one winged angel and hit Stormbreaker, but Omega got his foot on the rope to break the pin. Ospreay used Omega's own V-trigger and one wing angel against him, but the cleaner kicked out at one to get a massive pop from the crowd. The challenger dumped him right on his head with a Tiger Driver 91, but still couldn't get the pin. He finally got the 3 count after another Stormbreaker to regain the IWGP US title. So yeah, Will Ospreay won the title match, but man, that was a good match, man. It was bloody as hell. So yeah, it was crazy. Good match, exhausting and stuff, and yeah, I am right now. I'm so tired. I'm not complaining, but so yeah, it was good. All right, we're almost there, guys. We're almost finished. All right, so Sting, Darby Allin, and Tetsuya Tetsuya Naito versus Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Minoru Suzuki. Alright, so here we go. The penultimate match of the night was the six-man tag bout with Chris Jericho, Guevara, and Suzuki taking on Sting, Allen, and Naito. Even though they were the heels, the crowd readily saying both Judas and K's Nair Naito, Guerrero, and started for their teams and took their time getting into it. The Spanish guy dodged Naito a couple of times to mess with him, so Naito kicked him, and the guy Guerrero and Naito both posed to taunt each other before they started taking the match seriously. When Sting tagged in, Jericho begged Suzuki to tag him so the former WWE stars could face each other for the first time in a match. Suzuki attacked Sting from behind to give the advantage. This kicked off a brawl with all six men. A good match between Ospreay and Bamba. Even though there's a lot of Steeler back and forth, victory and stuff. So Suzuki down for the pin to get the victory. Sting, Darby Allin, and Tetsuya Naito won the match. Alright. Notable observations. Jericho and Suzuki being friends has never really made sense, but they always make it work. The announcers telling people not to look directly into Suzuki's eyes for their own safety and pretty funny. Was pretty funny. Yeah, I heard that. Sting had a unique version of his face paint this time. It almost looked like he gave off Joker vibes, but it in a different way than his TNA look did. Hearing a murder grandpa chant for Suzuki was hilarious. Suzuki slapping Allen to the mat with one shot was just as funny. Guevara botched his cutter from the top row and hit Sting right on top of the head with his elbow. The Sting was fine, but it was almost much worse. The Judas effect to counter a suicide dive looked great, but you couldn't see it coming. Alright, guys. Last match. This is the ending. Main event. Alright, sorry, guys. Trying to stay awake here. Excuse me. Sorry. Bryan Danielson versus Kazuchika Okada. Main event. The main event of the night was arguably the most anticipated match we will see all year. Danielson entered the arena to his old entrance music, final countdown by Europe to battle Okada for the first time ever. Yeah, Europe, man. The final countdown. Yeah. Love that song. Fans were chanting, "This is awesome," before they made it any eye contact. They locked up, immediately began trading holds, counters, and takedowns as the crowd switched to a much less PG chant. Because WWE has that stupid PG bullshit and stuff, and let me tell you something, WWE sucks. They're a bunch of crybabies. Like, they want to keep everything PG and stuff, and blah blah. And I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell y'all. So, I just want to say that WWE sucks. They're PG bullshit. Alright, so even though they were working at a brisk pace and making everything look good, you could see that they were pacing themselves and saving the big spots for later in this match. Danielson quickly found out how tough Okada is. He was only withstood several chomps, but invited the American Dragon to hit him harder. Danielson was more than happy to oblige. Both men avoided each other's signature moves several times before they took the fight out of the ring. God hit a tombstone power driver on the ramp to turn the tide completely in his favor after Okada hit a flying elbow, dropped Danielson and began to convulse, and the ref called for the doctor to check on him. The American Dragon popped up and hit the flying knee, but he was too hurt to make the cover. He was confused. He was countered, a German suplex, and hit a second knee for the 2 counter before saying he was going to kick Okada's effing head in. After a long struggle to get in locking, Danielson made Okada tap out to win the match and play shocked the crowd a lot. Seemed surprised, blah blah. This might reach blah blah. Alright, so yeah, Bryan Danielson defeated Okada. Notable moments, observations. The video package before the match was awesome. Props to whoever put together the surfboard is one of the most moves that almost never looked natural, but Danielson makes it look good when he pulls it out. Okada took a big risk by hitting a crossbody over the barricade. Needs some fans. He is lucky he didn't actually catch one with his foot. Danielson was adding some extra spice to his kicks in his match. So yeah, that was it for the main event. So, anyways, it was good and stuff, and yeah, I say it's better than that PG bullshit WB. I think a bunch of crybabies and stuff, and yeah, that was it, and hope you guys enjoyed this video. If not, yeah. So I'll tell you, stay safe, stay in the air condition for a good little while, because it's so hot outside and stuff. I don't know what to tell you, but yeah. Anyways, it was good, and pay-per-view was badass and shit, and can't wait what happens, you know, at All In and All Out, whatever. So yeah, that was it, and I know I'm falling asleep right now, but I'm so tired. Long night and stuff, and yeah. So that was it, and like and subscribe or the favorite whatever, and blah blah blah. So I hope you like this video. If not, whatever. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great night, a great day, or morning, or whatever, where you guys are from. So yeah, hope you have a good whatever, and I'll see you all in the next video. Laters.